Two of the videos we've watched so far relating to self-determined motivation have drawn on the notion of humanistic psychology, or they've talked about self-determined motivations being related to humanistic psychology. I thought I should just explain in a little bit more detail what humanistic psychology is. So humanistic psychology is often thought of as the third wave in terms of how psychology research has been conceptualized. The first wave primarily related to behaviorism, which was largely the assumption that our behavior was simply a result of response to the environment that we're in. So we didn't do any particularly important processing in our brain. It didn't really emphasize creativity, freedom of thought. It really treated us in a very sort of similar manner to how you might conceptualize the psychology of an animal, like a dog, or a chicken, or a mouse, or a rat. These are all animals that are widely used in behavioral psychology as research subjects. So there was this concern then that behaviorism was too narrow an understanding of psychology to really be fully appropriate for understanding human experience and human behavior. The second stream of psychological research was psychodynamic theory, as developed by Sigmund Freud. And the challenge of psychodynamic theory was that it focused heavily on the role of the unconscious mind, but understood the human mind as perpetually in conflict, that your ego and your id would constantly be fighting each other for supremacy, and it was up to your superego to to balance things out, negotiate the fights between the two, and come to some sort of resolution in order for you to have some sort of balance in your life. In contrast, humanistic psychologists argued that humans needed to be considered holistically, and that humans had an innate drive to live healthy and constructive lives. So they weren't constantly fighting a battle, a subconscious psychological battle between chasing whatever desire was in front of them or living a moral life. They weren't simply reacting, or we weren't simply reacting to cues in our environment. We were able to process them, to consider them. We were able to act in creative ways, to do unpredictable things, and that given adequate opportunity, we would all be interested in living the best life that we possibly could. And so Abraham Maslow was one of the initial developers of humanistic psychology, and he suggested there was a hierarchy of human needs. And this hierarchy that in the triangle or pyramid shape will have been shown to you already in previous videos. And the argument is that physiological needs, of course, need to be achieved first, because without those, the other needs can't be attained. They're the necessities of life. And that what we need to do is ensure that everybody has access to each of these building blocks, because the most meaningful things in life really come once our physiological needs and our safety needs are achieved. Love and belonging, esteem, and then most importantly, self-actualization. But so while this is a compelling model, one of the key issues is the question around, well, do people respond to these needs in order? Do they protect their physiological needs over some other needs, or do they actually sometimes prioritize higher level needs over what seem to be the more fundamental needs that we have? And so what I'd like you to do before you come to class on Wednesday is see if you can come up with some examples of how the pursuit of higher human needs relating to potentially love and belonging, esteem, or self-actualization might lead in sport, health and human performance contexts to us sacrificing needs relating to safety or our basic physiological requirements. So in the context of sport, active recreation, exercise, and other areas of human performance, what are some specific examples of how some of our more basic human needs might get sacrificed?